So on the last day of competition, we had endurance, which is kind of what separates the men from the boys in racing. It's great that you can build a car that can go fast in a straight line and they can do a figure eight, and a car that can do an autocross lap, but endurance is one of the most brutal races. I think in Michigan only something like 60% of teams actually finished endurance. So endurance is a 22-kilometer race around a course with multiple laps. I think it was 20 in Michigan. And halfway through the race, you actually have to pit, stop and turn off the car and switch drivers so that you don't just have the same driver the whole time. It's also proof showing that your car was built well enough and robust enough to survive being turned off after being ran that hard and restart the function. After the first couple of laps, it started to hail and we were on slick, so eventually they considered the track wet, at which point they allowed all the cars to be shut off and towed back in so that our fuel scores weren't affected, and switch over to wet tires. It was pretty dicey when we were on slicks in the rain. There's a lot of skidding, a lot of really tail-happy cars out there. But once we switched over to rains, it was just planted, and it loved to corner, it loved to turn in. It handled great. Drew Campbell was our first driver out there. Did a phenomenal job setting up our second driver, Daniel, to go out there and just really bring it home. It was just an amazing race. We were passing cars left and right. Rain was flying everywhere. You couldn't see anything on the track from all the mist. We passed Cornell, who has a giant aero package and has a really loud turbo. It was kind of a show of like, your car may have all these fancy bells and whistles, but at the end of the day, we built a better car and we have a better driver. So that was endurance.
So with Michigan this year, we had an interesting set of challenges. On Friday during the autocross event, it was a sunny day, everything was going well. But we knew that coming Saturday, there was going to be a change in that, and that it was going to be much colder and there was potentially a storm lurking. As a result of autocross, our team placed a little bit earlier for the endurance time, so we ran about midday. And during this time, there was a pretty heavy storm, which involved a little bit of hail coming down midway through our race. We were fortunate that they red flagged us and allowed us to stop our vehicles so we could change from slick tires, which we had opted to go out on in hopes that it would get drier, to wet tires so we could run a better race on. Unfortunately for us, this hailstorm ended just after we finished racing, leaving the better teams like Stuttgart to run their race and be able to create higher lap times, effectively deducting points from us. Despite the fact that we had to deal with these harsh circumstances, we were able to actually prevail in our own level of finishing endurance. We struggled with that in years past, and it was really a test of our vehicle's production quality. And as a result of this, we were very excited. We actually placed quite well for the conditions we were put in, finishing 16th in endurance.